Yes, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to GAA Fan TV. This is the show that keeps you up to date with everything that is happening in both football and hurling. And of course, guys, we are here today to discuss Tipperary's victory over Clare. What a result this is for Tipperary. A 16-point win, 321 to 17 points. Absolutely outstanding again from Tipperary after an 18-point victory over Waterford last weekend, and of course beating Cork on the opening weekend as well. Tipperary at the moment are looking absolutely unstoppable and are very much looking like favourites for the All-Ireland. In many respects, Galway struggling in some way so far in this campaign. Limerick, of course, are still, for me, massive All-Ireland contenders yet again. But of course, Limerick did lose a game already, of course. This year they lost to Cork. So look, listen, we'll see what happens as the season goes on, but we are here anyway to discuss Tipperary's victory over Clare. First of all, if you are new around here, do hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well, share it, get it out to your friends and family. I did also make a video talking about Waterford's embarrassing display against Limerick, so do go ahead and check that video out. Link will be down in the description down below. But yeah, guys, what a result for Tipperary. Just wonderful display by them. Of course, it did start off very even. Of course, Clare playing at home at Cusack Park. I was expecting a lot more from Clare, in my opinion. Quite disappointed with their performance. In particular, some of their standout players, the likes of Shane O'Donnell, didn't quite have the display I would have liked to see from him. Peter Duggan done alright for Clare. He hit 9 points, but I think ultimately it just wasn't quite good enough from this Clare side. John Conlon as well, expecting to see a lot more from him. Podge Collins was good in some respects from Clare, but Tipperary were just on another level, weren't they? And one thing about this, it was crazy having watched Waterford just completely capitulate in that game versus Limerick. Seeing players not closing down, seeing players not putting in the effort, not trying. Absolute opposite in many respects in this game from Tipperary, just closing down, not giving Clare any seconds to breathe. At times it looks like Tipperary have twice as many players than the opposition. And just what an unbelievable job Liam Sheedy has done, because Tipperary last year, they weren't on that kind of... They had a very poor year, didn't they? They had a poor league campaign in some respects. And then they were just absolutely awful in the championship. I actually think they might have reached the league final last year, so perhaps not a bad league campaign. But in terms of the championship, they were absolutely awful last year. Went out early on, didn't progress past the Munster stage. But of course, this time around, they are certainly going to a Munster final. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And what a huge, huge performance it was from them. Of course, the big decisive blow was when Noel McGrath ran through. He got himself a goal, and Tipperary kind of just didn't look back from then on. Just an outstanding performance. John McGrath, again, he was absolutely outstanding. Jason Ford was absolutely unbelievable. You have wonderful players all around, like Pádraig Marr, Michael Breen, Dan McCormick, John O'Dwyer. You've just got players all over the place for this Tipperary side, and just unbelievable in many respects to beat a team of the quality of Clare by 16 points. And they're being ruthless at the moment as well. They're not allowing teams to get back into matches. They're not allowing teams to get a chance, to get a sniff of coming back into a game. And Tipperary, just wonderful in many respects from Liam Sheedy's men. And yeah, certainly going into what I think, obviously, I think it's looking very likely that they will be in a Munster final. But certainly, of course, looking ahead to the All-Ireland series, be very interesting to see if Tipperary keep this level throughout the entire campaign. And can they reach an All-Ireland final? Can they win an All-Ireland? It's looking very likely. Tipperary, when they beat Kilkenny and won the All-Ireland, I think 4 years ago, it was looking like Tipperary were going to start dominating the All-Ireland scene. It looked like they were going to be the team now that was going to dominate, and it didn't quite work out like that. They slipped off the boil a little bit. Galway, of course, won an All-Ireland, and then of course that was followed up very closely by Limerick last year. So Tipperary back on the scene, back dominating, and not just winning games, but just cruising and destroying teams at the moment. And Clare, very poor performance in their own backyard as well. Will they make it through? I think it's between them and Cork in many respects. I fancy Limerick to make it through, in my opinion. And obviously Tipperary are already there. Waterford are already out. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the closing stages of this Munster Championship going into the final round of matches. But I think ultimately Tipperary, huge All-Ireland contenders. Just wonderful performers all over this team, and in particular, as I said, John McGrath, just outstanding. Just the speed, his intensity, and this Tipperary team just doesn't get tired as well. Even in the closing stages against Clare, they just kept going. And I think that's huge credit to the management of Tipperary, for the board for bringing him in, and of course to the players as well. So huge result for Tipperary, 16-point victory over Clare. And I will really look forward to seeing them playing next weekend. I think it is. I think they play, is it Limerick? I think they play Limerick. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens there, seeing them come up against All-Ireland contenders as well, in my opinion. So that'll be very interesting. But anyway, guys, of course, if you are new around here, do hit that subscribe button. My name has been Aaron, and I will catch you all next time.